Hi, I'm Kamsali and I'm present Cisco Bangalore South. Today I'm going to explain object-oriented programming language. So this is what you're going to see now. It is also called as O. Now we are just going to see what are the course outline. So we are going to see about the classes and the object in this video. So now let us see what is a class. So a class is a collection of objects which share common properties and relationship, or we can say it is a way to bind the data and its associated function together. And object. So here I told you a class is a collection of objects which share common properties and relationship. So here object means it is an entity which has its own characteristics and behavior. Now we'll see the syntax for the class. So first we have to just write class name, and then we have to open the curly braces, and we have to enter the data members and the member function, and finally we have to close it and we have to terminate the class. So this is the syntax of the class. So I told you a class, it's a way to bind the data and its associated function together. It is known as the class. Next. So we'll just see an example for this. I told you other way also you can just say a class is an object. So here, let me just show you this. So a class is a collection of objects. So here you can just see these are the objects: apple, orange and mango. So a class, it's a collection of objects, and I told you object means it is an entity which has its own characteristics and behavior. So here we'll take a class, and let me define the class name as fruit. And I told a class is a collection of objects. So here you can just see there is a collection of objects over here: apple, orange and mango. And each object, it's an entity which has its own characteristics and behavior. So apple has its own characteristics and behavior. So apple its own shape and color and behavior, and orange also its own shape and color and its behavior. So this is class and object. Now let us see how to declare the function. Okay, so this is the syntax. So first it is return type, function name and arguments, and I have to terminate. So this is the function declaration, and this is also called as the function prototype. Now let us see how to define the function. So there are two ways of defining a function. The first one is inside the class and another one is outside the class. Inside the class means I have to just give the return type, function name and the arguments, and finally I have to open the curly braces, and within the curly braces I have to give the statements. And outside the class means I have to give the return type, class name, scope resolution, function name and the arguments, and again the statement should be given within the curly braces. So when we are supposed to give define the function inside the class means a function which has very few codings, few set of lines, then you have to just give it, you have to define it inside the function. Otherwise it should be like if you have any like a multiple condition to be checked and a switch statement, everything, then that function should be defined outside the class. Now let us see the syntax, the exact syntax for the class with the program based. So now first thing is class name, and then we have to open the curly braces, and here there are some keyword which is private, and the other one is public, and the other one is protected. So here you can just see there are like some keyword, actually private, public and protected. I told you a class is just fine with the data member and the function. So here again we have the data member, which is the variable and the function, and which can be declared under some three sections. One is private, public and protected. So these three are access specifier, or you can just say it is a visibility mode. So I have declared whatever the variable you want, you can just declare in the function also under those section. Next one is, I told you the access specifier. Let us see what are the access specifier. So private means if I am declaring any member, so member is nothing but it is the variable declaration and the function declaration. So that is together called as the members. So the member declared as private can be accessed only within the same class and not from outside the class. So whatever the member I am declaring, that can be used only within the class and not from the outside. Whereas public means a member declared as public can be accessible within the class as well as from outside the class. So if it is protected means the members declared as protected cannot be accessed from outside the class but can be accessed from a derived class. So this is used when inheritance is applied to the members. The next one is when you are declaring any member function under the class, inside the class, if we didn't use the access specifier, then by default it is private. The class is by default private. Then even elements can be declared as public or protected. So in a class you can just declare private, public, protected. All three also can be declared. Now I am just giving a sample program for this using the C++. So first I have to just import the header file for C++. So it is a hash include iostream.h. So here iostream means it's an input output and stream is nothing but it's a flow of data. And it's a con IO, like I'll tell you why we have imported that. And the other one, it's like a console input output. And then this header files are included in order to just enable the predefined function prototype which is used in this program. Okay, now I'm just declaring the class and the class name I've declared as sample. And here I've declared a variable A. So this is a variable declaration and it is of type int. And I didn't give any access specifier here, so by default it becomes a private. And next one is public. Under this I have used a two-member function. So the first is return type, it is void, and the function name is input. Other one is also void and display function. So one function I have just defined it inside, another function I have just defined it outside. So inside void input, cout, enter the value. So cout, so the content will be displayed on the user screen, and cin statement is used to read the value from the keyboard. So another one is void display. So all the declaration is over. I'm going to just declaration is over and the class definition is over. So I have to close it and finally terminate. Then next one, void sample. I'm just defining this function outside. So void sample, scope resolution and display. Then here cout, like I am just using the operator like extraction operator. It is insertion operator, then the variable, and I'm displaying this variable and the main function. So I have to just create an object for the class. So I am creating an object S as for the class name sample, then s.input, s.display and getch. So now what happens when I am just compiling this program, the compiler will be looking for the main function. So it comes to the main function and it just see where the class name has an object and the object is invoking the function input. So it will jump to the input statement and this will be displayed on a user screen and it reads a value for A. Then again it comes here, it is s.object is invoking the display function. So it goes where the display function is defined and it is going to print the value. So this is how the program will be used. Then next one is here, like I am just having one more example. So I am just importing the header file. I am creating the class name as dad and a private variable I am declaring int sData and a public. So here member function is void setData. In the previous program we didn't have any variable, but here you can see void setData. I have declared some argument over here int A. Then next I am just going to define this here. A, I am just assigning the argument to the variable declared. So A is equal to sData. So the value will be assigned to the variable sData. So I am closing it. Then again the void show function, I am just defining the function here. Then cout, I am just displaying the cout statement and then closing it. And here let me come to the main function. I am creating an object to object x and y. So x.setData, setData has a argument, so I have to just pass the argument is of type int, so I have to pass a value, so I'm just passing. Again another one more value I'm just passing because since I'm not using the cin operator to read the value from the keyboard, so I have to pass the value like this and then I have to use show operator. I have to just invoke the show function to display the value. So this is another method. And next we'll go to the next topic. In the above class you might have seen whatever the variable declared as private and public, and here I've given one more same type of program with a variable, but the only difference is here I have just declared a class cube, and first I have used the public. Here you can just see here I have given the private, so it can be in any order, and here under public I have used the function. Here the data type is int. So void means it is a different case. Here if the data type is int means then this function has to return that particular data type value. Then cube and it has some value like variable. And then r equal to value into value, like I'm just doing the calculation and returning r. I'm just returning. Then void show, I'm just displaying this result. And here under this private int value r I have given the variable declaration and I've created an object for this cube. In the main function, I'm just giving x into cube2 and x into like x dot show function. I'm just invoking this function. So when it is returning any value, then we should use the function like return. The same way I have used one more program. Here also you can just see int area. Here it is also the calculation is done. Since area function is returning a value, then return a should be given and a should be returned somewhere. It is end of lecture. That's it's over. Thank you.